Welcome back to Lorna Páirce here on WLR, with thanks to PwC Waterford. Well, the Waterford footballers will face Wicklow for the 18th time in 17 seasons in Aughrim on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Both sides are looking to bounce back after first round defeats, and former Déise boss John Kiely is on the line to preview this crunch game. And John, you've managed Waterford teams up in Aughrim, both in the league and also the Tommy Murphy Cup, when you come up against Mick O'Dwyer on the sideline. What do you recall about those occasions?
I recall we had some great games. I remember the first year we went up there in 0-5, and it was our first game with the Waterford team, and we had a lot of lads making their debut and stuff. I remember Sean Dempsey coming on at half time, that Sean from Colligan that was on midfield and under 21 team, and won the Munster title in 0-3. Clive Fitzgerald was kicking the free throws, but to be honest, in the first half we ran off the field. I think it was 11 points to 1 at half time. But Sean Dempsey got a goal in the second half, and I think the Fry got the other one. And we ended up only losing by a pint in the finish, so we put in a great finish there. But they're a hard team. They're a hard team to play up to, you know.
And you managed to get a draw against them in 2009, John. You had a couple of goal chances that day.
Oh, so we were all over them in that match. We should have won it. I actually don't know. I think it was. We were very unlucky in that we had a lot of wides. I remember we had a very good team too, of course, with Wayne Hennessy. I remember Wayne Hennessy was playing wing back in that game, in that match, and he had a mighty game because he was marking Leighton Glynn, who at the time was by far Wicklow's best player, you know. Probably the best player that Wicklow ever produced, Leighton Glynn. He's played for Ireland on several occasions. Well, of course, I forgot Kevin O'Brien, vaulting class. He would be Wicklow's greatest ever player.
And you played a Tommy Murphy Cup semi-final up against him as well, John, and just fell short.
I remember there on a summer's evening, with a mighty man. Mick O'Dwyer was in charge of them that time again. We won. They beat us 17 points to 15. I remember we had a lot of wides, but it was a tremendous game. It was a 35-minute aside game, and they beat us in the finish. But we had every time we went up there, we put up a good performance against them. But the draw was the only. We never beat them up there. We just got the pint, and we got beaten in the few by a pint or two, and we had the draw. Well, there was a couple of games we could have won, but it's no good talking about what you could have done. The bottom line is they're a hard team to play there, you know, in Aughrim.
Yeah, was there a bit of razzmatazz around when Mick O'Dwyer was in charge of them, John?
They were. There was a bit of razzmatazz. They were, because there was a guy there, Arthur French. He's a Mayo man who lives in Kildare. He's he's a very wealthy fella, and he was actually bringing Mick O'Dwyer there, and he had a helicopter, and I remember him one day. They were coming from some wedding down at JP McManus's place, and they landed in a helicopter in the next field.
Jenny. Before a match, was it?
Before. It was actually for that Tommy Murphy Cup match. It was in the summertime. Yeah. So what I do, I have some, I have bad memories of Aughrim. It's a small. Like Aughrim is only sort of a large village. The field is kind of out just outside the village. It's in the winter time the ground can be pretty dead there. The sod can be heavy there. But they're just hard to beat there.
Yeah, it's kind of earned a reputation over the years of being a bit of a fortress for Wicklow, John. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I would agree with it, yes, of course, yeah. No, it has been a fortress, because if you go back into the 80s, when Laois had a good team, when Laois won I remember Laois winning the National League there, and Division 1 of the National League, and they came out the first round of the championship. They went down to Aughrim. It was known as the Battle of Aughrim, and they had a couple of guys sent off and beat them, And then when Mick O'Dwyer was in charge of them, sure, remember they got through they won about 4 matches in the in the backdoor system there, where they had I think they beat Down and they beat Cavan, and I think they beat Kildare. I remember they knocked Kildare out of the Leinster Championship, So it is true. It is a fortress for them, yes, and it's difficult. But then again, when you're involved in a team, you can't be thinking of what's a fortress for them. You have to have it in your mind that every pitch is the same, and there's a few sticks at either end, and that's the way you have to approach it. But sometimes it's not easy, it does affect guys,
Exactly, and like looking back to last Saturday night in Fairfield, John, could Waterford have got something out of that Limerick game considering the chances they created?
Well, they could, yeah, but I suppose overall, I suppose Limerick would be looking back on it. Maybe Limerick missed a few chances as well. But to be honest, I thought Waterford put in they put in a great effort. You know, the lads, they put in a great effort, and the kind of a game the game plan that they have, you use up an awful lot of energy. So they're obviously fit because they lasted the pace well, and you know, they're only a bunch of young fellas, and they deserve great credit. They deserve great credit. And the one thing what I liked about it was that the Red Comic, the county champions, have 7 or 8 guys on the panel, and that can be only good because they're all young guys. I'll be looking forward to the game against Wicklow now, because Wicklow put up a good display against Carlow. Carlow had a guy sent off. I think the game was on in Cullen Park in Carlow. A guy had Bardrick, one of their best forwards. He was sent off very early in the match. But I suppose if you were looking at it from a Wicklow point of view, and from the comfort Waterford could take from that game, is the fact that I think in the entire match Wicklow only scored 1 point from play. And in fact, I think if you look back on it, their goalkeeper, a guy called Jackson, he's one of their leading scorers, and he can kick frees from any angle.
Yeah.
I know he only scored 1 last week, but if you can give away frees out even from 50, 45 or 50 yards out, like he's capable of sticking them over with either foot, I believe, you know. From a point of view of the team management, you'd be earmarking him anyway, you know, and especially with the kickouts. I see where Sean Fullong came on as a sub, but he got a point from a free. But Shawnee'd be, you know, over the years, I know to my cost over the years that he's an exceptionally good forward. You know, he's a great lad. He's a great lad to win. He's a great lad to win the ball and turn the back. And he's got 2 good feet on him. You know, left and right. He can, you know, and he's a good goal getter as well. You know, so he's the one to keep. If he starts, I'm sure he probably will start. There's a young Kenny guy playing there as well. A son of former great there, Hugh Kenny. So he's a good lad as well. You know, but Wicklow are like Waterford. They're in transition. You know, and they're a young team as well, you know, a young fast team. So, to be honest, I can see this being a tight match. You know, Waterford will benefit from last. You know, they'll benefit from last week, their first game of the year. Wicklow Limerick had come to Dungarvan after winning the McGrath Cup. I know people are going to say you don't take any notice of the McGrath Cup, but it's still a silverware, and Limerick won it. They beat Cork, and I don't care who was playing for Cork. There's a Cork team. There were guys in red jerseys. And when you come from Limerick, Waterford to tip it, it's always nice to beat Cork, if you can. Limerick beat them, won the McGrath Cup. They came to Dungarvan, and on the night, Waterford could have got something out of the game. We didn't, but I said they should approach the game very positively. I think they'd have a great chance going to Aughrim.
And how do you see it going, John? Wicklow won by a point 12 months ago, Fairfield. There was a draw the year before, so it's been pretty tight between the two of them.
No, it's always been tight between Wicklow and Waterford. It will be a tight game, yeah. But like I said to you, Waterford must have a great chance. If you go into Carlow game, Carlow had only 14 players. Wicklow had 15. I know it was above in Carlow, but Wicklow only scored 1 point from playing the entire game. The rest of their scores were from frees. That doesn't work well for them. Now I know in Aughrim is worth a few points to them. You know. It's definitely worth a few points to a Wicklow team, so it'll be interesting to see how the boys man up to it, you know. And hopefully, it'd be great if they could get a couple of points on the board and get the thing up and running, you know.
Sure.
There's nothing to be ashamed of from last week's effort. Like they did put in a decent effort against Limerick, you know. And the Limerick was impressed with a couple of Limerick players, like the fullback. Their fullback there, I thought was very good. You know, the boys done okay, so. We're looking forward to the Wicklow game, and hopefully this year it's a young team. So I'd say what the boys are hoping is to get some good performances and get a few wins in the league.
And just a final question for you, John. Like the advanced mark has been a big discussion point over the past week. Is it something that you'll be in favour of? I
am in favour of it because everybody is talking about the skills of Gaelic football. You have one of the great skills in the game is fetching the ball, making the mark. And all these so-called managers and coaches all over the country are training guys how to stop people from catching the ball. And that's apart from the catch and the kick and being able to kick the ball accurately. And you know that, but the fetch is the one. The high ball out, or whether it's going into the goal or in the middle of the field or whatever, the guy that can put the hands, whether he's a small guy or a tall guy, the guy that can leap up and fetch that ball is good. And it's a great thing, and I think he should be rewarded. I'm definitely in favour of the mark. The guys that are against the mark are the guys that are in favour of this fast hand-passing game where the goalie kicks a sick ball out about 5 yards to a corner back and it's transferred on to about 20 other guys before it gets into the full forward line. So I'm definitely in favour of the mark.
Great stuff. Well, John, thanks for your time this evening as always, and we'll catch up with you again very soon.
And hopefully we'll have a good day in Aughrim.